Hello, Namaste, Adab and Sat Shri Akal. I am Sheetal Acharya and welcome to Indian Tech Icon Spotlight, where we bring stories of brightest leaders in tech. Let's welcome our guest Harleen Bhatia, who brings vision, velocity and values to the world of data and automation. Hi Harleen, welcome to our show. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, and I'm very happy to be here and looking forward to it.
Could you please share your career journey with us, like from your first role to your current role?
I joined Infosys in 2004, and my job was a developer. I was working as a mainframe developer at that time, and my journey has been just running. I think for the first 15 years, I never thought where it was going, what was happening. The career just happened. I was a developer. Very soon I went to UK to work for Royal Bank of Scotland. My roles were developer, tech lead, but they were revolving around just mainframes, the older systems which were developed in 60s. But what we learned there was the basics. So that helped us, or at least that helped me understand the values and how the core of software works. And after joining Canadian Pacific in my current role, in last 10 years, I have been just moving roles from a tech lead. I moved on as a manager from mainframes. I moved on to managing testing automation. I had integration teams. I had strategies teams. I had teams that were working or supporting vulnerabilities. So it's been moving across, and last 5 years have been in data and automation, which has been quite exciting and interesting.
That's a wonderful journey, Harleen. Thanks for sharing that with us. Talking about mainframe, now there is dearth of mainframe resources these days because everybody has moved up and upgraded. Now let's talk about your current role. What are your current roles and responsibilities, or how a usual workday looks like to you?
My workday is meetings from start to end. But so I manage data teams and automation teams, two very different portfolios, yet connected in a way that both are servicing the business. So in terms of data, I think it's every day, what are you learning from it? The amount data, as they say, is the new gold, and the amount of gold that's flowing in, which has to be carved into right kind of information, is what my team does. And my role mostly involves in making sure that we pick the priorities right, the direction given to the team, they understand what they have to do, than just going and drowning in that pot of gold, I would say. And same goes in for automation. When working on for automation, we really have to work on, is this the right thing to do? Like, you call automation and everyone wants to automate, but something that can be done in 5 minutes by a human is probably not a good thing to automate. So in that role, I just make sure we pick the right use cases, we pick the right areas to be automated in there. So both are connected yet different and very interesting.
So Harleen, again, let's talk about data and automation. What are the current trends in data and automation that excites you most?
I think I'll start with data first. With the emergence of AI, the value of data has become immensely high than what it is before. And the fact that we have to have right data to feed in, to train the AI models we have, becomes even more crucial. And where automation comes into play is use automation to gather the data. And that's what connects the two together and makes your data more reliable. If just picking an hypothetical example, say I want to see when the teachers in a school reach the school or start their classes in the morning. But imagine a fact where a teacher is doing a manual time entry just to make sure every day the teacher is on time or the class starts on time. They might be doing something manual, manipulating the data. That will not work with AI at all. The results we will get is garbage. But if you have scans that are scanning or dotting that data your data is much more reliable and accurate at the time of gathering. That's one of the key aspects where the two come together. But in terms of automation, I manage a team that works on bots. So we work on creating digital workers every day. And
Wow.
that's where, from the fact where we were just automating the mundane tasks, we are more on automating digital workers where they can make their own decisions. So that's where automation is heading. Here is your business process, but a digital worker can sit in and do everything for you, where you are sitting in and just saying, yeah, it's done right. And now based on this, I can make my next important decision.
So, wow, Harleen, you are knee deep in data and automation. Now let's talk about the challenges. What are the usual challenges that you see while pitching to any of your customers?
All right. So I think both come with, again, same and very different challenges. And one of the biggest I have seen throughout is, here is an IT team. And I think it's not only just in data and automation. It comes into play in every IT stream. Here is IT. They will build whatever we want. And it's hard to explain for the business to what really do you want?
The business value.
Yes, what do you want to accomplish? And sometimes what we are thinking that they want out of it is not what is actually needed there, right? So making sure, and this is the emergence of agile, which is coming in every stream, is business who wants that end product is with you at every stage. And I often compare it with when you're building a house, you go and inspect it every day. So similar to that in here, inspecting what we need and is it where it is getting built is very important. In terms of data, I find sometimes we feel there's an expectation that when I ask a question, I'll get that answer out of the data, which is not always true, because whatever data you have, depending on whether you have gathered it enough to answer your question, whether those insights that we are looking for, we have gathered those data points historically, is very important. And sometimes it takes time to discuss back and forth that the foundation is not strong enough to give you answers that you're looking for. And that comes in as a challenge both for data and when this data is used for AI as well. Because AI is always garbage in, garbage out, and that is what your data is. It'll not do magic.
With this ever-evolving technology, how do you keep your team motivated and upscaled always?
I think one of the things I feel always works is when they believe it's their idea. So if a new technology is emerging, I have to plant a seed so that they come up with their ideas. And when you have an idea, like I know when I'm running with my ideas, my buy-in is much more than someone coming and telling me, this is good because I'm telling you. But and that's what I try to work with my team as well. Say there is an idea and we bring it forward and then we brainstorm it all and I let them run. I tell them what the business outcome is that I'm looking at, but how they will achieve it is up to them. So with that, they pick ownership. And when they pick ownership, they learn the new technologies, they take it to the solution that it has to be taken. And it worked for me. One of the leaders I aspire to be had always worked like that with me. So I picked that leadership style and is what I use mostly.
And that's a unique one, right? Like, letting your team do it on their own and not micromanaging things and just, be looking at the outputs. That's wonderful.
It's working I would say it's working.
Harleen, let's talk about quality. How much quality is important in delivering the projects at these large scales when so much of data and automation is involved?
This was a lesson that was given to me in my first year by one of leaders in my org. And what he said is, Harleen, imagine you're going to buy a custom suit or a custom dress. You get a dress that has threads out all over. How would you like it? And that is what I think in my mind when I'm implementing and thinking about quality. What is acceptable? If my software is comparable to a dress, will they like threads out? No, and this is much more expensive. Building softwares is much more expensive than building dresses, of course. So if you're paying premium, you want a premium software. So quality is utmost important. And one of the quality curves that we have always been seeing, you handle it at the start, the cost is going to be low. As late it comes in, the cost goes very high. So I think, then I truly believe, quality should be there, and it has to be discussed with what it is, right? You're discussing or building a software on dating. You don't want a quality of a software that is for a heart pacemaker, right? You want it to absolutely work, and where you're just deciding where to go for a dating, you don't need that much, right? So you have to see how much we are ready to invest in quality as well. So that's another aspect comes to it. Yes, I need quality, but how much is good enough is always there.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful analogy that you just explained about quality and, comparing it with that dress. So that's amazing.
That was a leader. Some things you learn from your leaders, never forget, right? And that sits in my mind always.
Absolutely. And then let's talk about the leadership. Like, you have, worked or led multiple teams. You have been to UK, you have been to North America. So as a leader, what are the qualities or how you feel you have evolved as a leader over all these years?
My evolution has been crazy around in that area, if I can use that word. And it's because I started with a culture where whatever your supervisor has said is the gospel, to being a new leader where it was hard to give control, because I know it all. I will review everything that you do, and you have to do exactly what I say, to a point where you have to learn to trust your teams. And that is where I think my journey has been, from bossing around to now trusting, giving the work and trusting that they will deliver, providing them the direction where they need it, but not exactly saying this is what you will do, otherwise it won't work. That has been my growth. And I think I have had a lot of amazing leaders, opportunities to be mentored, and at times opportunities to mentor some people where they were talking about what didn't work. And I was learning there, it's not working with their leaders. Probably what is it that I should see within my teams, how that works. So
wonderfully explained. Yeah.
I think leadership is one of the areas I'm very immersed into until last 5 years. All the books I have read were around how to emerge as a leader.
So what, according to you, are, if I ask you, any 3 qualities, according to you feel that a leader must have?
I think the topmost is making decisions, because I think that is what differentiates us from someone who's newly joined. I can make decision. A leader should be able to make decisions for the teams pretty quick. That's number one. Second is ability to deliver. Like, your team has to deliver. That's it. You have committed. You have to provide the directions, carve the way, cut any obstacles they have on their path to make it happen. And the third one, in my view, would be to keep your team motivated, skilled, and constantly evolving with the market. Because I think if you have to succeed, in my view, that is a team that'll make you succeed as well, selfishly, right? So we all grow together there then.
Again, I mean, those are all 3 strong qualities the leader should have. You talked about decision making. So what's your approach for decision making?
I think I look at the data points and the risks associated with the decision that we are making, and time of not making a timely decision. So at a point, something might happen, and it's like your decision is needed right away, but data is not enough. So just assessing on what can go wrong if the decision is wrong. Sometimes you have to understand all the pros and cons while making a decision. Sometimes the timing is so important that you have to take a risk, like just make the decision there. Time is of a sense, go ahead. And maybe there is an opportunity to revert it later if it's not right.
That's a deep thought, making timely decisions. Let's talk about the qualities in your team members. We talked about qualities in a leader.
Mhm.
Now, if you have to, pick your team, other than the technical skill sets, what values you would look for in your team members?
I would say I never pick a team that is full of superstars. And the reason I say is I need people who can work together. So the top skill for me is harmony, which is like you have to be able to work with the people who are as skilled as you. You have to be able to work with the people who are not as skilled and might not need a little bit of time.
Mhm.
So that collaboration, the culture of supporting each other, and like when I pick teams, one of the things I say is we are all rowing together. Even if one person starts rowing in the other direction, slow us down. So they must have understanding of each other in the team. They must have understanding of me,
Mhm.
how to manage me. And they should be there rather than competing with each other, supporting each other.
Mhm.
And I feel there are enough opportunities, especially in IT, the way the markets are emerging, even the way IT is emerging within a given org. You don't have to compete with each other.
Right.
You can support each other and grow together.
Mhm.
And for me, that is very important
Mhm.
in a team.
Harleen, you talked about, collaboration in the team and mentoring team members. So are you involved in any mentoring services outside of your work?
It's not at this point outside of my work, but within my work, not within my team, I have a few mentees.
Mhm.
And for the last few years, what I'm seeing is most of my mentees are either new moms, and possibly because I have come up as a new mom in the work culture as well, or there are females who want to grow. So some of the common themes I see is new moms who have come back from work are either struggling with the work life and keeping that off, or have a mindset that I'm being judged for being a new mom. So I think I share just my experience that I had when I joined
Mhm.
back from mat leave, and in Canada, mat leave is 1 year, right? Like being in a job of a kid for 1 year and then going back, not being with the kid was a big separation anxiety there for me. So I think that's where I feel I can help some of the females around on how I worked it out, and
Mhm.
everyone has a different journey for sure. Along with that, I know a lot of females come in how do I grow? And a common theme I see is we are not as demanding.
Mhm.
I recall having an internal vacancy once, and there were 4 male and 1 female candidate who applied. And I was constantly getting phone calls from the male candidates. And this female candidate, while she did not talk to me, her manager came and said, you should talk to her. And when I went and talked to her on why did you not reach out? And her answer was, you should have seen how my work and you should have known. And I had to tell her that's not how it works, right? Like there's not everyone watching you. You have to come and be demanding there. And that was a lesson for me also. If I am looking for something, I have to be demanding there. I need to ask that I have a will to grow. And I guess when it comes to mentoring, I learn equally from my mentees there as well.
Yeah, I think we need more such leaders like, you, Harleen, especially to empower women in tech. So what one piece of advice would you give to, women who are looking to make their career in tech and also the aspiring women leader?
I would say my aspiring woman leader is Karina. She's an AVP in CPKC. The thing I see is the grit she has. Like once she decides that she will get something done, she makes the environment around in such that it happens. So seeing her growth journey, seeing how she sits in and works around problems had been really great. And her being female comes into it, because when you are in high pressure scenarios, I think one of the advantages that females bring is our voices are much more softer than men. So even if I'm angry, I've seen it with my kid, me being angry and his dad being angry has different effects, right? So that's an advantage we have to use to ourselves in high level or high pressure scenarios where we bring in the calm. And I think as females aspiring to grow, one thing is, don't let anything come in your way, in a sense that, like when I had my kid, I was seriously thinking that I need to take a demotion there. If you want to grow, don't think that, and you always have your family supporting, but ask away. Don't shy on asking where you need help. And working doesn't mean that you're not being truthful to your kids. They will understand, and when you give them time, they're happy.
Yeah, I think that's the guilt I think most of the working moms they have. But I think kids are smarter these days, and definitely the family matters most.
Yeah, they get very independent at times, right? Like, because they know there is not always someone who's going to put food in their mouths.
Yeah.
So the kids become very independent too. But I think its guilt is internal. It's not the demand of the kid there.
Exactly.
It's more of an internal guilt that we sit in with. So get over it. I think get over the guilt, and you can achieve same things as any man can. There is no difference. And especially tech, where you need brain power, I think women are very smart.
So Harleen, let's talk a little bit about your early days. Let's talk about your hometown, your upbringing, and maybe if you would like to share anything about your parents and siblings.
For sure, yeah. So I was born in a town called Sri Ganganagar. My parents were born there, and we are still living in the house where my dad was born.
Wow.
And I was born, all my sisters were born. So yeah, it was a small town. So I think what I would say is, when we were growing up, there were only 3 English medium schools. There were lots of schools where co-ed didn't exist. Learning how to be in a culture where there are boys and there are girls and they're same, that was a pretty different thing than where the culture is now, where we are now. And we were 3 sisters. So I think my parents were always very motivating towards us to grow. One of the things my dad always said is, make sure you always have a job. My mom, when she got married, she left her job. And then she started working, I think, 15 or 16 years after. So she had like that big gap in her career. So my dad made sure, in every aspect, he said, not leaving the jobs, make sure that you work always. So I think that mindset always stayed, like, yes, we can work, whatever comes in there. My mom was very hardworking. Like, she would wake up in the morning, get us to do our homeworks in the morning, get us ready for the school. So that hard work, the not giving up came from my dad. The hard work came from my mom. And my sisters, I am so close to them. And I feel like I always have friends around. I always have someone to talk to. And the fact that you can rely on your family came from how I was brought up. Having said that, I always laugh about this. I had to unlearn a lot of things, because as a girl, you're growing in a small town, the lessons you get is be humble. And there's a line, right? Apne muh miyan mittu nahi bano. But if you have to grow in your career, you have to sell yourself. You have to sell your team.
Absolutely.
So it was like unlearning that being so humble and being so modest in life was hard. It's still very hard, because when you complete something really amazing at work, you have to go and present it, and then like, am I praising myself and my team too much? But probably I have to do it. So that's a hard one that is coming to unlearn. But it's been amazing. I think my bringing up, I wouldn't have thought of it in any other way. Like that love I was surrounded by always. I think I have been lucky there. And even now, right now, the family I got after my marriage, not just my husband, even my in-laws, they have been so loving and so supportive all the time.
Harleen, let's talk a bit about your, current family. I know your husband too has a demanding role like you have. So how do you both take out time for your family bonding? And you have a lovely son as well. So how do you both make sure that you spend time with him?
All right. So I think when it comes to managing our times, we consider each other equal in the sense that we don't have a divided responsibility in the sense you do the cooking, you do the cleaning, or you go and bring groceries. Whoever has time at that day, on that time, we just do it, right? So making sure if other person is busy, if he's busy, I'll pick the slack. If I'm busy, which is the case a lot of times, he picks the slack. And my kid's very demanding. So in terms of spending time with him, he makes sure we do that. With that, we know the things he loves to do, and we do it together with him. He loves to camp, he loves to hike, he loves to bike, and two of us do those things together. Having said that, we both have our little zones that he does just with us. He loves to go collecting bugs with his dad. So they both go for hikes together in that sense. I am learning music. So that's something two of us do it together. So I think it's important that we spend time with each other.
Harleen, let's talk a bit about your college days, what you studied and what memories you still have from your college days.
I think if there is one aspect of life I want to change is my college education. When I went into college, I knew nothing, right? Except for the fact that my dad said IT is an emerging field and you have to get into IT. I went in there. But given today, I would want to redo my entire education. It's not about getting marks. There is much more to education, which today it's there. In our times, it was not there. I think what I learned in college, again, we made a lot of good friends. We enjoyed college a lot. But am I using anything I learned in college? Possibly not. I don't think that education we got at that time is something I would want my kid to have. And I'm not downplaying the college that I was in. It was fine. It was just the culture on how we get into college, right? Oh, free now in the hostel, puri ash hai, jo marzi karo. So I feel the college is the time when we have to give it all. That is the time which is building our foundations, not only in just studying and getting marks, learning how to interact, learning. So if we are in computer science, and this is something my husband always says, if you are in computer science, take a marketing course along with it, something very different, yet will train you to talk, yet will train you to learn what someone is expecting out of you. So college, I think, should be that.
Absolutely. And I'm completely aligned on those thoughts, Harleen. Yeah, so Harleen, we are almost, nearing the end of our lovely discussion that we're having. I wish I could have more with you. Probably we'll have that offline. But let's move on to our next segment, which is a rapid fire round. I'll be asking you some questions and I would be expecting some quick answers from you.
Okay, I'll try my level best.
No rush. I mean, you can take a couple of seconds to think. Okay. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's start. What's harder, building a platform or building a team?
Building a team.
Okay. One skill every future leader must have.
Being humble.
What's the boldest decision you have taken in your career?
The boldest decision I have taken in my career possibly is to accept the role that I am in now. I went into a data team knowing nothing about data.
Mhm. Okay, honest answer. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
My superpower would be possibly to know what other person is thinking. I think that's what I would really want.
A good one. One thing you can't start your day without.
A cup of tea.
Okay, much needed for everyone. What's your favorite app on your phone right now?
LinkedIn Learning.
Nice. If you had to give a TED talk tomorrow, what would you talk about?
It would be about how to be a humble leader, I guess. Building teams, possibly.
Okay, that's a nice answer. And the last question. What's one hobby you have always wanted to try but haven't yet?
I wouldn't say haven't yet. I started learning piano. I suck at it, but I'm still doing it.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Harleen. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today. Thanks for taking out time for us, and I wish you continued success in your career.
And thank you so much, Sheetal, for taking this time. It was really fun having you here at my home.
Same here, Harleen. Thank you.
Thank you.